Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at your essay. Your heading looks fine up here. Just change that from 2 to 1. Let's go ahead then and continue. Cultural baggage understood. Okay, that works. This first sentence is a little bit awkward. First of all, when you're talking about, if you're saying the amount of, and then you have a plural noun, you need to use number. So you can say the number of cultures around the world are unpredictable. But I'm not really sure that's the right word. I'm not sure you want to use unpredictable because really they're not unpredictable. So you might want to just rephrase this first sentence. It's a little bit awkward. To something of the effect of there are numerous cultures around the world, and the choice of passing cultural identity along to the next generation is a choice in every individual's, okay, you got to put an apostrophe S, individual's mindset. That would work, something like that. How would the world be if no one cared so much about ethnicity, culture, and race? Barbara Ehrenreich spoke on her behalf how life was from her experience without culture or religion being a factor in her family. Okay, don't need this comma here, so just take that out. That made her more open-minded and open to try new things and taught her to be less judgmental. Okay, that sentence is not parallel, so you need to change that up a little bit. You might want to even break it into separate sentences. Growing up without culture or religion taught her to be more open-minded and taught her to be open to trying new things, period. She was also less judgmental because of her lack of cultural and religious identity. Something like that. Just figure out how we can either make this parallel or revise it into a new sentence. Okay. The next sentence, this is Barbara Ehrenreich, author of Cultural Baggage. This is confusing. Okay, so take out that this is. Okay. What I want to say is Barbara Ehrenreich, author of Cultural Baggage, says, okay, you need a comma after, always before you start a quote, put in a comma, says, okay, the quote's fine. You need the page number right here, okay, and then take the period, oops, let me erase that. Take the period and move it after the page number. Okay. Also, you want to make sure you avoid contractions, so not that's, but that is. So that is why I agree with the author that culture and ethnicity are not a big deal, because there be no races, no stereotypes, and no wars. Okay. So first of all, this is a fragment. You're missing a helper verb, okay, before be. And your idea is not, I know what you're saying, but it's not written clearly. Okay, so you might want to say you agree with the author that culture and ethnicity are not a big deal because without them, there would be no races, no stereotypes, comma, and no wars. Okay? The birth of racism comes from culture putting words and thoughts to the next generation with no choice but to follow. Okay, make sure you proofread there. Okay, that's a spelling error. Oh, most discrimination comes from religious point of view, so you're either going to say a religious point of view or religious points of view. Up to you. So most discrimination comes from a religious point of view by blocking away whoever does not believe the same as their religion. Okay. First of all, you don't need this comma here. Okay. Um, I would take this part of the sentence here by blocking away all the way to the religion and just revise it, make it simpler. Just say something like most discrimination comes from a religious point of view, where people shun others who don't share the same religious values or something like that. If culture was not important, you need a comma here. Everyone would get along just fine because no one race would believe they're more superior. Okay, that's a spelling error, but also you want to do they are more superior to the other. The famous speech, I have a dream, would probably not have been necessary if the world would have been peaceful. It would have been impossible, or it would have been possible if the early generations would have made the choice not to, again, follow the same culture. Okay. Racism would not have been around in the 21st century. The next reason not to be obsessed on culture and religion is stereotypes. The choice of following a culture almost all the time is expected to follow a certain religion. Okay. Again, you have the spelling here. I'm not going to keep circling that because I think you get that. Just proofread and make sure you fix all the spelling here. But this sentence right here is awkward, and you need to revise it. Okay, depending not of the religion, but on the religion. Depending on the religion, but most discriminations are towards other groups, putting all negative thoughts about the different religion groups. Okay, this sentence here is awkward, one, but two, it's a fragment. Sorry, this is hard to do. I'm writing with my fingers, so you need to revise that and make sure it's not a fragment. Most stereotypes come from the knowledge learned to identify from the religion being followed. DRE 097 from Culture and Identity, page 89. Okay, I have to go to the next slide to finish this, but this is not how if you're going to set up a quote, you have to use proper MLA style, and this isn't how to do it. So let's take a look and see what you did on the next page. Okay, so stereotyping is a complex form. Complex form of categorization that mentally organizes your experience with and guides your behavior toward a particular group of people. That is more proof that culture. Okay, I see. All right, so the quotation mark actually needs to go not where you have it, not where you have it here, but you need to move that to the end of this sentence. And check your MLA style guide because you need to put the page number after the quote. So that is more not proof, but proof that culture and religion, okay, culture and religion is plural, that's two things. So not has, but have made people narrow-minded, unable to accept other groups with different beliefs, or in other words, unable to accept people who are different. Okay, that's good. You need some commas there. Let's see, narrow-minded. Unable to accept other groups with different beliefs. Or, in other words, unable to accept people who are different. You also don't need, get rid of this apostrophe after beliefs. The last final reason why people should stop worrying about culture and religion is because without them, comma, there would not be so many wars happening. The reasons all mentioned all connect because both due to culture is the reason why that not many wars would have happened. Okay. This sentence here is awkward and you need to revise it. Many of the biggest wars have happened due to not being able to accept change. An example is the slavery era that the United States had to go through to understand that no matter the color of skin, all people, okay, you need a comma there, all people are the same. If culture and religion, again, you have a plural subject, culture and religion, so your verb has to be not was, but were. Not a big deal, comma. No one would have had a problem accepting change, and no blood would have been shed. All would be in peace. Okay, this sentence here, okay, this one, in that line you have a run-on, but also in that sentence you have another run-on. So that sentence actually contains two run-ons that you need to fix. This is what the book DRE, page 76 says. The United States, again, you need to use your proper MLA formatting here for your in-text citation, and anytime you start a quote, you need to put a comma right before it. Okay. No doubt abetted by the historical legacy of conditions such as slavery, the early Indians, issues of civil rights, and most recently, a growing influx of immigrants. Okay. Again, move that quotation mark over to this next sentence and check your MLA format. This is why people should stop being so ignorant and worry so much of culture. Okay, I think you mean not worry so much about culture. Okay, so go ahead and fix that. The text of Barbara. Okay, make sure you proofread. You got to check the author's, the spelling of her last name. Make sure you capitalize the C in culture, and make sure it's cultural baggage, not culture baggage. Okay, so go ahead and fix that. The text of Barbara Ehrenreich's Cultural Baggage has influenced that culture is most definitely a baggage. Okay, you can lowercase this because it's not really part of the title the way you're using it. The reason is that culture is a bunch of unnecessary weight on our lives. Okay, so not lives, but lives. That is really having a negative effect, forcing people not being okay, so negative effect, comma, forcing people, instead of not being able to move forward, you want to say forcing people to not be able to move forward. How would life be if culture and religion was not a big influence in people's lives? Okay, not life, lives. The world would be much better, more peaceful, and less violent going on around the world. Okay, that last sentence is a little bit awkward. So just take out that going on around the world. So the world would be much better, comma, more peaceful, comma, and less violent. And then just take this out. Okay, so your ideas are great. The structure and organization of your essay, excellent. You just got to work on some of those grammar issues. So go ahead and get to work on those, and do not forget to make sure you upload to SafeAssign. I know the link wasn't working earlier, but